One of my absolute favorite quotes in the world of the late Dr. Maya Angelou is, when people show you who they really are, believe them the first time because they know themselves better than you. Now, most people quote that and they forget it. They absolutely quote it, they know it exists, but then they don't behave or live by the quote. When people show you who they really are, believe them, which translates it to whatever they're doing to someone else, they're eventually going to do to you. If they're unkind, if they're short tempered, if they are vindictive, if they lie on other people, they will eventually do all those things to you. So you go into these relationships with these damaged people and you expect them to not treat you the way they are obviously treating everyone else. How foolish is that? There comes a point where you have to start taking care of yourself. Self-care. You have to stop spending money to make friends. You have to stop paying other people's bills because they, for whatever the reasons are, can't take care of themselves, which is an interesting point. I want to detour just a moment and say this about that. When you help someone have a lifestyle that they cannot afford to have for themselves, by themselves, you're not doing them any favors. You're really not being kind, and you're not taking the place of someone who mistreated them and didn't do anything for them. You're perpetuating the idea that they can use their words to make money without working. And that's what those sad stories are all about. They're just a very cunning way of manipulating you to do something for them that they can't afford to do for themselves, but feel entitled to having anyway. So here's what I want to say about that. Any ill-gotten gain that you have in your life, that you've gotten because you manipulated people into giving it to you, it is not blessing you. It is not turning you into a better person. It's actually perpetuating a false image of yourself. And subsequently, you can't build a life on a false foundation. You can try, but eventually that whole house of cards will collapse. Side notes over, I'm back on track. When people are showing you who they really are, you have to understand that you cannot become God in their lives. And some people think I can love you enough to bring you back from the brink. You cannot. You'll waste a lot of your life energy trying to do so. If you're in the profession and you're getting paid to work on people and break them down and bring them back up, if you're a licensed therapist, if you are a psychologist, if you are a minister, this might be your calling, and so you are doing it for a totally different reason. But lay people, you might want to realize that you can waste a lot of your own life energy trying to help someone who hasn't first asked you for help, and thinking I can lead by example and show them a better way by being long-suffering and kind and basically a punching bag for all of their dysfunctions, and hope that one day, because you've been a good man to them, they will wake up, see the light, and change. I don't believe that happens. If anything, you slow down their own development, because if they hit the skids quicker, if they hit bottom as hard as they should hit it, it might be the one thing that wakes them up. But you keep laying a cushion on their bottom so that they never really hit it, and subsequently you get upset when they show you their real face, their true nature. There's a quote on my page before this that says that everything I want to become is already what love is. Love is the best of who I want to be. Now, if you choose the path of love, if you choose the path of becoming your best self, hear me loud and clear when I say this, it's a lonely path. It's a path that's very painful to you, And it's a thankless path, because what people will see and interpret that you are is a doormat, that they can do anything they want to you. And because you're all about love, you can't have a reaction. You're not supposed to get upset, and you're absolutely not supposed to withdraw your love from them, because you're all about love. There's a phrase in the African American colloquialism that says the devil is a lie. It's bad English, but it definitely is true. The devil is a liar if you think that I'm not going to eventually one day say to you, I've had enough of you. And lovingly, I let you go. And lovingly, I will say to you, leave me, the fill in the blank, alone. Because my mental, emotional, and spiritual health is more important than my relationship with you. Now, most will never get to a place where they can be that person. They will think they're being a dutiful Christian or a kind and benevolent person if they let you run all over them for the rest of your natural life. The devil is a lie. It doesn't have to be that way, and you will not have a peaceful life if you put yourself in a subservient role to any other created person on this planet. No one is better than someone else. People work harder than others. People prosper because they work harder than others, but it doesn't make them better. And we've gotten it twisted through this whole social media rigmarole with showing wealth, where it's not even their wealth, it's paid advertisement. And we think we have to have that same thing, and then we'll feel better about ourselves. If we have that watch, that car, that girlfriend, that boyfriend, if we have that body, if we do all the things that those people on social media are doing, then we'll be happy too. It's not going to happen. So all I know is this: as you go about your day today, check yourself. If you let unkindness pass by you and you don't tell them, hey, that was just not nice. If you let people continue to be mean and rude in your presence, and you think that because they're not talking to me, I'm okay, you can set a clock to it. It's going to be turned on you eventually. And you'll have your own self to blame for not checking it when you could have checked it and you saw it happening to other people. We are our brother's keepers. And when we don't come to the defense of those who are being bullied on any level because we are afraid of losing our jobs, or we're afraid of losing our position or our standing, whatever the reasons are, here's the best one: because they're family. We let it slide. Oh, that's just the way he is. You know, he's always been crazy. No, he's always been rude, and everybody's letting him get away with it. And there comes a point when you have to say, it wasn't funny 20 years ago. It's absolutely not funny now. So why are you still telling that same joke? Yeah, uninvite me to every family function. I'm fine with that. I don't sit in the presence of stupidity and not say something. It's just not in my nature. So when you ask the question, well, I don't know how he couldn't go home to that funeral. I don't know why he didn't show up for that particular function. Yeah, you do. You know why. So here is Brother Eden Douglas in Albuquerque, New Mexico, living in the desert and loving my life, and telling you you can love yours too, but you got to get honest about it. Because when people show you who they really are, you better start believing them, especially if you want to have a better life. It starts with you. That's my message today. Peace.